21st, 2024 order. All please rise for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening. For the minutes, there was an executive session held by the board tonight before tonight's meeting. We also had one for the minutes on Saturday, October 19th, during our budget workshop. So you just note that in the minutes, would be greatly appreciated. First off, thank you for the Temple Fire Company, 66, for allowing us to have a meeting here tonight and setting up everything. I know they had a busy day today too, I think, but we heard. So thank you guys for setting up the station. But first, we have Mike Bidd of Financial Solutions here to present the township with a general obligation note refinance opportunity. So I'm going to turn the meeting over to Mike, and then we'll answer any questions that we have before. So thank you, Mike, for coming.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thanks for having us. Mike Bidd with FSL Public Finance, served as the township's financial advisor with respect to debt, I guess for over 15 years now. We're a fiduciary in the township. Our job is to make sure that any finance that you do is structured properly in the best interest of the township, that you understand all the benefits and risks of those transactions, and then if and when the township authorizes the financing, that you receive a market price transaction that's priced fairly. What we have for you is tonight for your consideration is called a parameters ordinance. It authorizes the refinancing of some of your existing debt, and I'll go through in a little more detail in a minute. If and when you hit a certain net savings level. In the event that the market does not cooperate and you never hit that savings level, you're not out of pocket anything, it doesn't cost you anything, it just gives you the flexibility to move a little bit faster than you normally would have to try to lock in as much savings as possible. On page 1 and 2 is just a overview of the current market rates. Up of the top box on page 1, AAA MMD, that stands for Municipal Market Debt. U.S. Treasuries is the box below. U.S. Treasury are taxable rates. AAA MMD is your tax exempt equivalent rates. What I'd like to show you again on the right-hand side is the YOY, which is year over year. And if you notice that on the 2-year amount, it's minus 1.06. So that means comparatively now to what we were a year ago, the rate is lower by 1.06%. So that'll come into play a little bit later when we're talking about current savings levels and what we're looking for to achieve savings. Page 2 is just the 10-year MMD rate, is to show you that it has been the last 2 years. As you can see, it goes up and down. It moves just like stocks. It's extremely volatile. Again, what the parameter ordinance is intended to do is give us some flexibility in moving quicker than we normally would have in the event that the market moves in the township's favor. Page 3 is your current outstanding long-term debt portfolio. The township only has 3 long-term pieces of debt. They're listed right there. The 2017, the 2019, the 2019 A bonds. The 2019 and the 2019 A bonds are refinancings. As you can see, we're looking at the potential to refinance your in the highlighting green is your 2019 bonds. They have an average interest rate of approximately 4%. But if you look at the entire portfolio as a whole, the average cost of the township's debt is 3.025%. So it's extremely low. As you can also see, the 2019 bonds have a final maturity date of 11/1/39. So the final maturity of principal payment on that particular issue is November 1st, 2039. What the parameters ordinance authorizes of refinancing, it does not extend the term. It goes out to 2039, exactly as your current bonds are. And we would only execute again going from a higher interest rate to a lower interest rate. Page 4 shows the total principal and interest, which is your debt service payments on all of your issues. Column 5, all the way to the right, is the total. So you're paying approximately $1.2 million a year total for all 3 of your issues. And again, they show that it goes out to 2039. If the township were to take out no debt from now until 2039, it would be debt free. Now we get into the refining update. It starts on page 6. And this is what point out to the right-hand column up there, it shows that a net present value savings right now, if we were to do this today, it would be a net present value savings of approximately $46,047. That is net of all fees. Every number in here is net of all fees and expenses. So what I did was, that's what I consider the base case. So if you go to the chart below, base case all the way to the right, you can see in the gray box, net present value savings of 46,000. Total cash flow savings over the life is approximately 53,900. If you move to the column to the left of that, you can see negative minus 25 basis points in red. That means that rates drop by 0.25% along the entire curve. What would the savings be at that particular time? It would be a net present value of $110,797 or $141,150 over the life. Again, moving one column to the left of that, minus 50 basis points, you can see where the savings would be in the event that the rates drop by 0.5 percentage point from where they are current. The industry standard for current refinancing is approximately at least a net present value of 2%. So if we're going by that standard to get you 141,000 of net savings, you would be looking at a drop of only 25 basis points, which again, could be quickly, it could not be, but in the event that it does drop quickly and you are, the commissioners are comfortable with that type of level of savings, we can move a little bit quicker given that the parameters ordinance is adopted. From an interest rate perspective, if you look up in column, the 25 basis, negative 25 basis point scenario, and you look at true interest cost column, the TIC, that would be the rate on the new bonds. So again, in that 25 basis point reduction scenario, the true interest cost would be 3.593%. So you'd be going from a little bit over 4% to about 3.5%. Again, there's not a huge drop, but since we're already at 4%, that drop is going to equate you to a little over 141,000 of savings. The next page just goes through bullet by bullet on what this is. Again, the township has the opportunity to potentially realize some savings. What this does is allow for Erica McNeese-Wallace, who is your bond counsel in this transaction, to file paperwork with the Department of Community and Economic Development, which is the state. The state has a 20-day waiting period where then they authorize or approve the financing. And then that takes about 20 days. If the township approves this, we can start that process and basically knock off 20 to 25 days of this entire process. So again, we can move quickly. The only thing we would need some direction from the township on, if they would like to move forward with this, is the net level of savings that you are comfortable, pulling the trigger on or executing the transaction. Again, this does not obligate you to do anything. You're not going to come out of any out-of-pocket costs except for the advertising fees for this particular ordinance, and then the filing fees with the state, which are a couple $100. So this would be good in perpetuity until the transaction or the 2019 bonds fully mature in 2039. So again, if it doesn't happen right away, and it happens, let's say in 26, and it meets the commissioner's threshold, we don't need to come back, or the township doesn't need to come back and consider it. It has already been authorized. The only way that this goes away is if the township decides to file a certificate of non-execute completion with the Department of Community and Economic Development. Other than that, again, this is just designed to give you the flexibility to move quicker than you normally would have to hopefully achieve a level of savings that the township is coming. And with that, I will answer any questions that you have.
Michael, my only question, just to start with, from the our bond rating perspective, you'll have to do a new rating call. We assume that our bond rating will stay the same.
Yeah, so we ran, that's a great question. So back in 2009, when we started, the township's rating actually went back and looked was A+. You have been upgraded twice since then, so you were actually AA. So you were 2 notches from a AAA rating, which is the highest you can get. S&P just came out with new rating criteria that they published. We ran the township's metrics through that. We still think you're into that AA rating category. Finances are strong. So I don't see that moving at all.
Thank you.
And again, that rating it gives you the direct result of being able to give you this type of savings. If you were rated lower, this would be an opportunity where it would take longer or interest rates would drop for us.
How long can we wait to pull a trigger for a bond thing? How long can we wait?
How long can I just
How long can we wait to?
You
borrow
can,
money for the interest rate to drop? How long can we wait?
you can wait until, if you have the township has to give us direction, so if we're at a point, we work with Jim and don't want to keep them, apprised, but interest rate paid, listen, rates are really dropping, we can now achieve X number of savings. The commissioners has to just, or the township has to give us direction on what minimum level savings, which could happen very quickly, but it could, where payroll rates are go, it could not happen for 18 months. It could happen in 6 months.
Still wait that long till we get that.
Yes, this authorization gives you that flexibility to, if you don't need to come back and do it, this gives us the flexibility to move again when we hit a level of savings at the township's time.
Question, we're spacing out.
You're out a couple $100 filing it with the state.
Good.
Yeah.
The minimum savings based on his recommendation, should we just leave it at 141 because of our rating and stuff, or? Do you know what I mean?
It could be higher, it's just totally dependent on what you.
Is it part of the physical ordinance, the actual amount?
It is not part of the actual ordinance. So there are parameters within the ordinance. The final amount would need to be less than 8.5 million, which is a inflated number that we use just to give flexibility in pricing so that they can get you the best result on the day of. It needs to mature before November 1st, 2039. Those are have an interest rate of 6% or less. Those are the parameters that are found within the ordinance that it needs to fit within. The decision of the actual savings is outside of the ordinance.
Okay. So for conversation's sake, I reached about 150 grand. That make it three of them, but then we'll say it again. Yeah. That good direction.
That's perfect.
All right. So then we just need the motion to adopt ordinance 619 refinancing existing debt for the issuance of general obligation. Second. Any further questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Thank you. And Jim, she does have like a continued thought. Thank you both for coming. Yeah,
Thank you.
Nobody, the next is our public portion. Would anyone like to speak under our first public portion? No? You could just give us your name and address, sir, for the meeting minutes would be great. Okay, did you want to say something? No, I'm.
That's kind of confusing. Nobody ever wants to sit up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, no one wishes to speak under the first public portion. We'll move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the entire consent agenda. Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Noes if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Any unfinished business? All right, moving on to new business. I need a motion to approve payment of bills presented by the Director of Finance and Customer Service. Second by Commissioner Cerulli. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any for pennies? Right, there's no B, right? So did you correct that? The B and the one for the public. Okay, so there is obviously duplicate motion here. So on to item C, we need a motion to authorize the Public Works Superintendent to put the 2025 snow removal project out to bid. Second. Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. I need a motion to approve the $1,000 sponsorship to the Berks County Solid Waste Authority.
Move. Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Need a motion to approve payment application to final to EA Roofing in the amount of $43,997.69 for work completed on the recreation building roof replacement project.
Motion. Second.
Questions or comments? Thank you, Commissioner. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. A motion to adjust the tax collector's tax certification fee to $50 beginning January 1st, 2025. I think I saw our tax collector. Pat, if you want to give us just a little quick update on what that is, and then we'll make the motion and vote on it.
Sure, that's a certification fee that I don't think that's worth it.
Okay.
And I also put updates in the free tax.
Thank you, Pat. Any further questions or comments for Pat? Do we need a motion for that? Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to approve the letter of credit reduction request for the Rivercrest Phase 2 subdivision in the amount of $83,027.
Move. Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Motion to approve an amendment memorandum of understanding with the Muhlenberg School District to provide one additional school resource officer, bringing the total number of SROs to 3.
Motion. Second.
Commissioner Lynch, would you like to comment on that? As police ladies are.
Yeah, I'd just like to say the school resource officer program that we initiated with the Muhlenberg School District actually gives us the opportunity to have officers in the school, high school, and I still say junior high, middle school. Gives us an officer that addresses issues in the school immediately to deal with students and to help out some of the neighbors that live nearby with some of their requests. It's a good, it's not just a good public relation standing, but it gives an opportunity to reach the young people of our community, to show them that police officers are not bad guys, that they're there for, you know, the protection of the lives and properties of the people who live in the township. School resource officers' salaries are paid for by the school district. In essence, it's coming out of your pocketbook, but it actually puts an officer right there to deal with issues that happen immediately and to build that better relationship with students. And, you know, from the reports that we've been getting from the school board, from the superintendent, the students like having the officers there. They're having a good rapport. Students who normally would kind of be on the fringes are out talking to our officers. And for me personally, I work with Boy Scouts. Now that's a good thing. Anytime that you can build a relationship with young people in the community and show them that good things can happen when they're involved and they take the right action, it's better. So.
Our staff also is a bit larger than the public and
Thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner.
One thing I would say that's the best thing the school did to hire, for 20 years, they're trying to get police officers in the school and kids feel safe, and kids make comments to the cops and say, we feel more safer in the school now than we actually. Best thing money we went to, our police officer, we got a school board here, Wayne already. What do you think about that, Wayne? Oh, right. Thank you. I mean, like they say, we pay taxpayer thankful that that's safe, kids safe going to school every day.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. All right, any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those of any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Any other new business? Board appointments, I need a motion to appoint Emma Sheeler to the Parks Board for the term expiring 2028. Emma will fill the unexpired term of Jim Keller.
Second.
Questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Noes if any, the ayes have it, so ordered. Anyone wish to speak on the second public portion?
Yes,
Go ahead, sir. If you could
I'm
just,
sorry, I cannot sign in, I think.
that's okay. If you just state your name and address so we can add it to the
My
minute.
name is Jeff Grohl. And I live at 425 North Temple Boulevard. Just down the blocks down the road. We've lived in, when I lived in the community here for 20+ years. And we had the Temple swimming pool recently closed, and you guys, I guess the township owns it now, correct?
Correct.
And they got backfilled, it looks nice down there with the grass and stuff, not being dry, but that's the way it is right now. But it's been sitting there for a little bit, I just, I exercise a lot and like to keep in shape, and I think maybe a good thing to the community, maybe perhaps, it's perfect for the location. I play a lot of racquetball, wrestle, referee, and I like maybe have an attempt to look into putting in pickleball courts down there. It's a perfect parking lot. There's no street parking, it's all parking lot. I think it'd be good for the community and for our township. You know, you wouldn't be necessarily parking on the street there, because it's not gonna get that full of 8 courts down there or so to accomplish putting something in there like that for the community. And it keeps people in safety, it keeps people, you may be out of trouble in some cases. Kids,
Yeah, thank you for the
So-
comments. It'll give you some sauce. You have to drive a little bit, but we are putting how many in the Jim Petrie, not Jim Petrie, Laura Rome.
We are also working on some at that location on the basketball court in the rear. We have a little bit of work to do with some contractors to widen the asphalt there. Rebuild the entire surface. So we are.
you are,
Yeah,
okay.
we're once ahead.
I was just, and it's just sitting down there, I figured, you know, the fence is sort of getting old looking.
Yeah.
Dilapidated a little bit, maybe, maybe doing some sort of fitness area.
Yeah, we're a couple months ahead, we talked about that over the summer, I think we've got some materials ordered, some of the posts and nets, and we're working with a local group that committed $20,000 or $25,000 for the development of courts down here, so.
Okay.
We're working, so by spring, we'll,
Because you have, I guess you would have, electricity and lighting down there
the service was all disconnected.
It was.
So they had to take it all out, it was done, but, basketball, so it'll all fit where basketball court was on the back side.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak under the public portion?
John Jones, I live at 86 Trinity Way. Called Dogwood, I'm Ed. You have about 101 senior residents. I sent a letter to you, sir, about a week ago concerning a new stop sign.
Yes, just so you know that I've reviewed it, we're looking at it. Go ahead. Yes, I did get your letter. Just,
Is this the proper form for that letter?
yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we reviewed it. We even talked about it at our budget workshop Saturday. So we're gonna do some things before we go ahead and put a stop sign anywhere. We want to do some traffic studies. We want to send out what we call our tracks unit. It's a police officer unit. So you know, any of your neighbors, because they'll call me, that speed down that way, they're gonna get caught. Because we're gonna do some stuff before we just put one up. I appreciate your letter and I'll respond to you too electronically, so you have a response. We are in the process of evaluating that there.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you for the letter. Anyone else have any?
Yes, I'm sorry, since he had brought up my stop sign. We live at the corner of Fourth, or Fifth Avenue, North Temple Boulevard. Just, especially off the Fifth Street, there, these kids, this people, they just fly right up through there. Is that a state road or is that a township road?
Yeah.
Is there any way maybe we can put a stop sign in? Like maybe every 2 streets or
Well,
the slope down?
yeah, there's always a debate if it actually works, to be honest. So same with John's letter is we have to, you know, talk with our PD about putting the tracks out, evaluating what makes the most sense. You know, it used to be, I mean, honestly, being on the board for a long time, that was the quick and most convenient fix, but not necessarily the best one, to be honest with you. So we try to take every request, if we get multiple, to heart and see if it's really through our public works department, through our police department, even, you know, if there's codes, and we try to bring everyone into the process and make sure we make the right decision. But I don't know, Lieutenant, if you have any comments that, if it's always the best way to stop problems per se.
Yeah, I mean, again, we certainly find the area is well. Well, I think that's, I mean, it's possible. It's
Right. I think it's got worse over the 20 years we've been there. I think the last 10 or 12 years, and especially if any new road goes in, people just wanna, it feels good, it's makes your car go faster, that's how, but it just seems like getting worse with people coming flying up through there. That's what I like to say.
It's getting worse.
Right.
Just, you know,
Yeah. That's the life generation.
But maybe Jeremy, you can answer with stop signs and that's supposed to be slow traffic, but for speed purposes.
Section 2B for the MUTCD, which is state government laws on all traffic signs.
Yes.
And states that stop signs shall not be used for speed control. Find other ways that, so the state doesn't recognize that and would never do it on their roads. So that's what they reflect down to municipalities to also do. That is a turnback road. That was a state road at one time.
Right, I thought so.
And it's also what they classify as a collector road. And what collectors are, basically, you want to get traffic quickly through. Where you go one block down at Elm and then vice versa. That's why you see them down there. They're not collector roads. That is the main artery. Same with West Bellevue, same with River Road, same with Tuckerton. There's reasons why there is and isn't. You have to do a traffic study first and foremost.
Well, how about maybe perhaps if we don't go that direction, these electronic slow down, you know.
There's a million things. Technology
Yeah,
nowadays, there's so many things we can do.
Yeah.
But it all stems back to a traffic study, and that's what Mr. Malinowski was saying. With the track unit, that is the start of the study. You have to have that factual information as part of the study, traffic counts, speeds, the whole nine. And so that's the start, and then you go and finish the study, and then we'll be able to give the information to the board, and they can decide, yes, we should, or nah, let's try this, or sure. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. So moving on. Staff comments. Mr. Dunkley, you can start.
No problem with this one.
Joseph,
Nothing is wrong.
Dawn. Chairman.
It's time for leave. If you leave that, we'll be around. Very patient. We collect £1 million a year. So it's a very taxing process. If you patient, we will be around.
Thank you. Chief?
Don't have much, thank you for everyone, making two firehouse, and then, first, touch on September activity report, very briefly, involved.
Thank you. Lieutenant? Here.
Wanted to mention Hot Hollow was the other weekend, numbers were down slightly, not too bad, Friday night. A little bit, trail on, for the road, it is. Both, and then we putting it, and there's like a basic, then. Wrong, cut it, and it was trail. Briefly, after we got some,
Thank you, Karen. Mr. Bowback.
Two items, one, the Ebony Memorial Bridge replacement project on Spring Valley Road, which will take about 2 weeks. We expect that road to be reopened in mid-November. They just had some minor oils, so delayed about 2 weeks. And we did advertise the Huntington Riverside Basin on Thursday of last week, and application was received on Friday. And we did have 10 applicants apply, and so we're in the process.
Thank you. All right. Commissioner Hoffmaster, you're first on the list.
Okay, thank you. I just want to thank everybody coming out to the fire. I appreciate it. Nice turnout. New faces you see that make us happy. Come out to see the fire station and see us. Well, I think Muhlenberg keeps having nice stuff like this past that craft show at the school. Good turnout. Thanks for the volunteers. Thanks for everybody being there, plus the library helping out there. Appreciate that. The Halloween parade, great turnout. Biggest crowd ever, people are saying. For the Halloween parade, it's nice. And one thing else, just want to make sure people know, Muhlenberg Township Water Authority, they do work that stuff. So I was somewhere, somebody in the old township was complaining about our roads ain't good, or fire hydrant ain't fixing a fire. We are doing our work. Township Water Authority does the work all the time. It's just another borough complaining about Muhlenberg. It's a shame people are like that. But Muhlenberg Township Water Authority is fine and do their job. The guys there, they might hear anything on Muhlenberg neighbors and that, but it's not true. And guys will do it. We'll put that new hiring this coming Wednesday on Grove Street in Florida. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Wolf. Commissioner Cerulli.
Thanks to Alex for having us tonight. The place looks great, and thanks to all the residents that came out.
So, Commissioner Lurch.
Yeah, hope to see you all at our regular monthly meetings at the township office too. Please come out. It's always good to see the public at our meetings. But it was nice to be here. Halloween's coming up, you know, and if you have high school age kids come to your door and they're dressed, you know what? I'm happy when the high schoolers are out trick or treating. Let them be kids as long as they can. Give them a piece of candy. If they're out trick or treating, they're not out causing mischief. So I'm glad to see that. Elections coming up. I hope everybody gets out and votes. All right.
All righty, just thank everyone for coming, also thank the fire for their hospitality. We did have a very long meeting on Saturday, so I think the board's sick of each other right now about some very important issues. Thank the library and her group who stopped by to give us an update, but there's a lot of tough decisions from everybody here, so stay tuned for November. There's things that we have to just, you know, the board's responsible for that we have to make really tough decisions on, including police, fire protection, everything. So as we know, the school and the county have raised taxes. We do everything we can to keep our budget tight and do what we need to do with very little amount. If you ever look at your tax bill, only 10% of it is township taxes. And I'm not saying the county or the school does anything wrong, but we do a lot of 10% of your money. So we're continuing to evaluate these tough decisions. So just stay tuned. The stuff's posted on our website. Just if you can, as Commissioner Hofmeister says, if you have questions about the budget or the process, give us a call. Don't go online because it's already started. We'll be happy to answer them or come to our next meeting in November. We'll provide you honest feedback for information. And the five of us, we agree to disagree. And we're all very, amicable with each other, which is important to have a debate. So I just ask this time of year is extremely important time of year for you as residents to know how we're spending your money. So as Commissioner Lurt said, get out and vote and hopefully we'll see you next month. All right.